But despite a rosy national picture in terms of employment, states are starting to feel a little bit more of a squeeze. The U.S. actually has seen some pretty good growth in terms of employment over the past few months, and nationally, payrolls hit a milestone in June. They returned to their pre-recession peak for the first time. Granted, it took 6 years to get there, and just to put that in a little bit of perspective, from the last recession between 2000 and 2001, it only took 3 years to recover. So it's been a long, slow climb, but the U.S. labor market seems to be turning a corner at long last. But at the state level, the issues are a bit more complicated. A number of states are still lagging their pre-crisis employment levels. In fact, through July, only 17 out of 50 states had returned to their pre-recession peaks. And given the disappointing nature of the August jobs report, it seems pretty likely that that trend will continue. In fact, we think that many states, if not most, will actually continue to lag national employment recovery for at least the next few months. So the question is why? Why are certain states lagging? It's not a simple answer. In some cases, it's industry specific. Take Michigan, for example. That state has been undergoing a truly fundamental restructuring of the auto industry, and that's a main driver of the state's economy. And Michigan is also the state furthest away from fully recovering to its employment peak. In Nevada, the issue is a bit more recession-driven. That state's labor market was hit very hard because of its focus on construction and housing, and the gap has just been too great to close. The state has actually seen some of the strongest labor market gains in the country, but there's just a little bit too much ground to make up, and they still have a ways to go. In a place like Maine, the issue is basic demographics. Maine's the oldest state in the country and one of just 2 to actually see a population decline last year. So in a situation like that, the fundamentals of the economy are slow growth, making jobs recovery that much harder. When you have this kind of lagging employment, it starts to really affect state budgets. New Jersey, for example, was the second slowest growth state in terms of jobs growth since its payrolls bottomed out in January of 2011. They've only gained back 3% of those jobs. And that lagging jobs growth has had a real impact on the state's budget. In fact, between 2009 and 2013, the state ranked all the way at the bottom at 47 in terms of total tax revenue growth. So hands in hand with its employment growth picture. On the flip side, you have a state like Illinois that has actually managed to see pretty strong revenue growth despite declines or weakness in the employment profile. And that state has lagged in terms of its jobs growth relative to other states in the country, but its revenue growth has been among the strongest in the country. And that's partially because of a policy decision the state made to raise taxes. So all in all, we think that state economies are fundamentally strong. That said, there are definitely places where legacy issues are affecting employment, dragging down jobs growth, and holding back tax revenue growth. So while it's certainly a positive that the U.S. economy has turned a corner in terms of its labor market, at the state level, we definitely see some issues that have a longer time horizon.